All right, here we go. We're into topic 1 still, human factors and ergonomics, and we're on our third lesson, which they call C. So 1.1C, physiological factors. So this is different than psychological, which had to deal with what was going on up here, inputs and outputs. This is physiological. It is actually your body and how your body interacts with the product, how you move, how well it works for you. So that's what we're going to be talking about right now. And as we move on, physiology, by definition, is the study of the normal function of living systems. Go ahead. Present this. Okay. Physiological factor data. Human factor data related to physical characteristics used to optimize the users and a bunch of things. Their safety, health, comfort, and performance. So if you were the designer of that toaster oven, the little toaster, it looks pretty well designed to me, but clearly if somebody makes a mistake, you know how we talked about that you have to assume how the user is supposed to use the product and how might they misuse the product. Clearly something went wrong here. If you design that toaster oven and people's bread is catching on fire just because they screwed up, even if it wasn't your fault, if their house burns down because the bread caught on fire in the toaster that you designed, you're going to get sued real quick. So those are all things you need to keep in mind. Biomechanics. This is going to be how your body functions. The research and analysis of the mechanics of living organisms, includes the research and analysis of the mechanics of our human body. So when they're looking at how your body operates, it's going to be your muscles, your joints, tendons, force on your joints, repetition, duration, posture. I'm sure I don't have great posture, but you always hear about good posture, right? Your hands are supposed to be down by your side. Your keyboard's supposed to be slightly tilted down. So these are all things that need to be built into designs of products so that your user stays happy and healthy. Importance of biomechanics to design different products considering what? The muscle strength of your user, the age, user interface, how they interact with it basically, and torque. Torque has to do with rotational forces, but that's going to be an important thing. An example oftentimes will be with jars. As you get older, sometimes it's harder to turn a jar, or if you're really young. So you need to keep in mind how strong is your user, what are they capable of? What is reasonable assumptions on their capabilities? Biomechanics. Consider the muscle strength and age of the target users. How users interact with your product for issues such as handling size and surface textures. Torque required to interact sufficiently with the product. So I put a couple images on here. You got the guy on the right who's trying to open the pickles. That might be very difficult. Now, if you look at the one on the left, she's trying to open those olives. And what we've got there is a gripper that increases the diameter or radius of the force that's being applied, which is your torque. So by increasing that distance away from the inside, you're actually increasing the amount of force applied to it. So that's what that does. Comfort and fatigue. Typically, we want to design for our user to be able to use our product well, which would be comfortable and they can keep going for a long time. Fatigue tends to set in if a product is not able to be used correctly. And it's not necessarily just the tired kid resting his head on the table, but it could be muscles starting to fatigue, which will oftentimes lead to either poor performance or injury. International-mindedness. It's really important that the physiological factor data is either regional or national data, okay? Because we're not, like I've mentioned before, we're not all the same. Regionally, groups can be very different, so it's important that you're using the correct data. Or great care is taken when applying data from one source to a potential inappropriate target market. Again, designing products that aren't of the right size or desire of a target group. Aim 8, which is our standard. Understanding the complex biomechanics and designing products to enable full functionality of body parts can return independence and personal and social well-being to an individual. So you got a couple elderly people here, probably in a potentially an assisted living place. They've got their walkers, but they're fencing, right? Okay, so maybe these have been designed to give these people full functionality and return their independence. They're able to do it, which is pretty cool. I would love to be fencing when I'm 85, 90 years old. All right. And we don't always do this, but I have found some good videos. So feel free to enjoy the biomechanics of Thriller.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse shell. Send them out in the street.